You are listening to the best of the Classic Metal Show podcast. Catch the Classic Metal Show every Saturday from 9 p.m. till 3 a.m. Eastern Time over at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. The following podcast is sponsored by the Pennsylvania Coin-Operated Gaming Hall of Fame and Museum, located in Hopewell Township, Pennsylvania. Over 400 video games and pinball machines there for you to play. It's all vintage. It's all good. So come on out and play it over at the Pennsylvania Coin-Operated Gaming Hall of Fame and Museum, located in Pennsylvania. For more information on the Gaming Hall of Fame, go to www.coinophof.com. And now let's get to it on another edition of the best of the Classic Metal Show.
Well, I ran across something that sort of, dovetails into something we did a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Remember how we were talking about people and we were getting back to the whole clan shop thing.
Yeah.
How, if you're a person of color in this country, that they refer to you as African American, and then we kind of goofed on that a little bit, and I became a Docan American, and you're a Pantera American,
right? Sure,
and so on and so forth. Well, I found it funny that I ran across a story this week, and this is the headline: Floridian-American.
Oh boy.
She's a Floridian-American.
Isn't Florida part of America?
Yeah, I know, but she's specifically from Florida. You know how people are very, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know if the word is protective, or they're very proud of where they're from or something.
Right.
You ever notice people who are from like California or Texas or, whatever? Well, I'm from Texas, and in Texas, we... Right. Like they're not part of the rest of the United States or something, or, right. I'm from California, and out in California, we.
Yeah, well, because you walk through that gate.
Yeah, it's like
it's gate to keep the riffraff out.
Exactly. Well, this actual title is Floridian-American.
Well, you know what? In most states, I would take offense to them doing that kind of shit. The way Florida's been going this last couple of months, I'm fine for separation of that state from the rest.
Yeah.
That place has been all kinds of fucked up lately.
Well, there's a reason for that, though.
What?
Well, I'm going to explain to you.
All right.
Florida used to be prior to the 70s and mostly in the 80s. It used to be a very serene vacation retirement spot.
Right.
It was just sort of like nothing going on there. It was just a place to go retire. It was old people or a vacation destination.
Right.
But in the 70s and the 80s, when the drug trade became very heavy, that's when all the things just started going wrong, because all these, all the corruption and these illegals and lawlessness and whatnot just perpetuated itself through the late 70s, mostly through the 80s and into the 90s. It just became a gateway of everything that's wrong with this world. You know what I mean?
I know. I don't want to go there anymore.
And it does have a lot of crime, and it does have a lot of lawlessness, and it does seem to appeal to degenerates.
Yeah.
And that seems to be there's a lot of that going on down there.
It's amazing that a place like Florida has overtaken like a complete gambler haven, like Vegas.
Yeah.
Just complete, and there's like no rules in Vegas.
True.
People act better in Vegas with no rules than they do in Florida, where there's all the rules.
Right.
That's unbelievable.
Well, the thing is that Florida doesn't have a state tax.
Right.
And so they don't have the infrastructure for law enforcement like a lot of other states have.
Right.
And so that's a lot of this just goes running wild down there.
I guess. And plus the people have an extra 10% of their money to spend on junk.
Yeah, exactly.
Spend on coke.
or flakka.
Or flakka or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, whatever's coming in through the ports down there.
Yeah, what's the hot thing now other than flakka? Meth?
Well, meth has been big for quite a while, but that flakka seems to be the thing overtaking everything.
That's the new one.
It's crazy.
Can't wait to not try that.
It's the whole bath salts thing.
Good Lord. Yeah, well, that came and went fairly quick.
Yeah, it did. It did. But flakka is just sort of like a meth or a bath salts thing turned up a couple extra notches.
Right. Yeah. Flakka seems to be taking some hold.
It does.
Which is not good.
No, I agree with that.
Not good at all.
No, it's never good. So, but that's the whole thing is that the lawlessness down there is just kind of out of control.
Right.
And like I said, because it's a warm climate, it seems to appeal to people of kind of a degenerate nature down there. I don't know what it is. It's weird.
Yeah, well, I'm going to stay put.
Right.
I'll stay here.
Well, speaking of flakka, and then I'll get back to the Floridian-American.
Okay, good.
We were talking about the drug flakka a couple of weeks ago, which is just sort of like a version of meth and sort of like ecstasy in a way.
Okay.
And a guy has sex with a tree after taking this weird new drug.
Okay.
This weird new drug.
This weird new drug.
Yeah, it's not so weird. It's just another version of it. That's all it is.
Right.
In his regular dispatch from the sinkholes of the Sunshine State, our columnist writer writes that the existence of Florida has caused the following to happen. There is a new synthetic drug sweeping the great state of Florida. It's called flakka.
Wow.
We talked about that a few weeks ago.
Yep.
I'm going to say we broke the story.
Yeah, it's all us. CMS broke the flakka.
Exactly. And it's best described as a newer, more intense version of bath salts.
Okay.
Which is what we just said. Because apparently the drug people think of when they think of someone eating another dude's face is still too mellow for some people. You remember that guy? I think it was like 2012.
Yeah. He
was just so fucked up on that bath salts that he like attacked a guy and started eating his face.
Right.
Just, wow. According to several reports, flakka has been responsible for a string of bizarre behavior in South Florida.
Right.
Or more bizarre than usual, that is. Firstly, a man high on flakka allegedly tried to break into a police station in Fort Lauderdale. Then another man who also reportedly on the drug streaked naked down the Broward Boulevard, skillfully dodging police cruisers and screaming about how people who stole his clothes were trying to kill him as he did so.
Nice.
Now a dude tried to have sex with a tree, and that's not even the half of it.
He tried to have sex with a tree.
He was trying to have sex with a tree.
What stopped him?
According to WKMG, Kenneth Crowder was seen running naked through a residential neighborhood, clearly a flakka side effect, yelling about how he was God and committing what is described as a sexual act on a tree. By the time police officers arrived, Crowder had assumedly finished because he had gotten dressed, but that didn't stop him from still introducing himself to the deputy as the creator of the universe and walking toward him in an aggressive manner.
Oh, my God.
He then allegedly proceeded to go at the cop, which clenched his fist. When the cop tried tasing him, Crowder pulled the probes out of his body and continued to fight.
Holy shit.
So apparently, 50,000 volts didn't stop this guy.
Right.
If that sounds metal, listen to this.
All right.
Crowder then switched personalities from God to Thor. We know him.
Yeah, we know Thor.
The Norse god of thunder, and proceeded to try and stab the officer with his own badge.
Wow.
How he got it and what part he used wasn't made clear. You want to know the scariest thing of all? According to WKMG, while the majority of the chemicals in bath salts were banned in 2011, the primary active ingredient in Flakka is still 100% legal. Fucking Florida.
Yeah, thanks, Florida. So now let me guess. In the next story you're going to read, that same cop is probably under arrest for being too aggressive in stopping this guy with his club, right?
I haven't heard anything one way or the other.
Can't you see that happening, though?
Yeah.
Because the guys tased him and it didn't work, and they beats him with the club, then he'd be overly aggressive trying to stop him.
Right.
Should have just asked him nicely to stand still.
Sure.
Fucking idiots.
Well, we talked about this before on the show, but I cannot even begin to fathom just deciding to hey, let me try some of that.
No,
I know we've talked about that before, and even to this day, when I read those kind of stories, I go, you know what? That never even occurred to me. You know what? I want to try that.
I certainly don't want to try like meth or any of that stuff. PHP, none of that shit.
No,
that seems a little much.
Right.
Well, I like being high, but that seems a bit over the top.
Sure it is. Well, as I was getting back to the Floridian-American.
Yes, certainly.
The Floridian-American woman files notice to fuck this court.
Okay.
At least take the court to dinner first. Self-described Floridian-American Tama Jada Clark filed an expletive laced legal brief lambasting U.S. District Judge Willis B. Hunt on April 20th.
Mike's brother.
Yeah, exactly. For dismissing her civil rights.
Hold on. Stop just for 1 second. I'll let you come back to this for a minute. But Gabriel in the chat room is killing me, as he should. I called it PHP.
Yeah, it's PCP. That's true.
Oops. A little bit too much computer programming. You should have smashed my face in that one. Jesus Christ.
Called you cocksucker.
I don't care. Whatever.
No, you're drugs, cocksucker.
Whatever. He learned that word from watching his dad on his own dick.
Right.
So stop.
Exactly.
That's fine. Anyway, go ahead.
So anyway, she filed an expletive laced legal brief lambasting U.S. District Judge Willis B. Hunt on April 20th for dismissing her civil rights lawsuit.
Right.
The brief embedded below opens with "fuck this court" and everything that it stands for.
I like it.
Clark's brief comes in response to Hunt's dismissal of a civil lawsuit she filed in response to her 2010 arrest.
Mm-hmm.
Clark was charged with trying to break her child's father. And that's the other thing about a certain segment of the community. They never have a husband. They have the father of their child.
What segment is that?
Just a certain segment of the community.
What segment is that? People that live downtown?
Yeah, that's the people.
It's not the people in the suburbs?
No.
No? Is that okay?
But that's the new terminology these days. I know it's not real new, but you know, it's never her husband or whatever. It's always the father of their child.
Right. The baby daddy.
Yeah, the baby daddy. Clark was charged.
I won't read what he said.
See what he wrote in there.
Wow. I'm not reading that.
I'm not either. This just tells you that if you're listening to this show live and you're not in the chat room and you want to know what's said, shame on you for not being part of the chat room.
Bravo, Phil. Jesus Christ.
I know. Look at Steve Jackson now.
You know what? No. This just went in a horrible direction.
I know.
And I'm not acknowledging.
I know who our fans are.
Yeah, I guess. Whoa. Okay, go ahead.
So let me just say this again.
All right.
If you're not in the chat room during the live show,
yeah,
and you want to know what was being said,
yeah,
you need to just be in the chat room. That's all I'm going to say.
The show takes on a completely different meaning from those Spreaker clips you're listening to.
Absolutely.
That is for sure.
Okay.
All right.
Clark's brief comes in response to Hunt's dismissal of her civil lawsuit she filed in response to her 2010 arrest. Clark was charged with trying to break her child's father out of the Gwinnett County, Georgia prison.
She's trying to break him out.
She was trying to break him out.
Wow. Okay.
Clark was never prosecuted, and she responded with a suit claiming her rights had been violated when she was detained and questioned by police. Hunt dismissed the case on the grounds that Clark's co-plaintiff, Jason Joseph Clark, whom Tama Clark identifies as her husband, did not sign the complaint.
Tama Clark, T-A-M-A?
T-A-M-A-H.
White girl?
As I was saying.
Just asking.
I don't want to get a call from Doghouse.
You mean, like Steve Jackson said here, if you're not in the chat room, you voted for Obama.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
In her brief, Clark contends that the judge contends that the judge ends your fuckery by stating that the case is dismissed for good cause shown and in the absence of opposition. However, you have not shown any good or legally valid cause, and you know it.
Wow.
Clark's impassioned argument for states' rights is riddled with such outbursts as seen in the brief below. All right, I'm going to read some of the stuff in the brief below.
All right, good.
This is actually a legal document filed in the clerk's office.
I cannot wait to hear it.
So this is what it says.
All right.
I'm sure you've seen legal documents.
I went through a divorce.
All right.
Yes,
So at the very top, it says United States District Court for the Northern District of Georgia, Atlanta Division.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Joseph Clark, Tama, T-A-M-A-H, Jada Clark, both on their own behalf and that of, quote unquote, Baby Clark.
Baby Clark?
Baby Clark.
Is this an unborn baby?
I'm thinking that this is their child.
And they didn't give the child a name?
No, it just calls, it puts it in quotes, Baby Clark.
I'm thinking it can't be born yet.
That could be possible. She could have been pregnant at the time.
Yeah, imagine that. She's knocked up.
That's the plaintiff versus Daniel J. Porter.
Mm-hmm.
The notice, and this actually has a civil action number and a case number and everything.
Right.
And the notice says, to fuck this court and everything it stands for. As of Wednesday, April 15th, 2015, that's a tax day.
All right.
I am a receipt of the order dated 3/31/2015, wherein the despicable judge, Willis B. Hunt Jr., has the audacity to attempt to dismiss this case based upon fallacious and irrelevant contentions that were without merit, of which he is absolutely aware.
I'm liking Tama Jada. She writes some good shit.
Firstly, Jason.
Firstly is not a word.
Firstly. Firstly.
Not a word.
All right. Well, I'm telling you what it says. Firstly, Jason is my husband, as I have stated, you asshole. That's the first statement.
Firstly. It's great.
And my son is no longer an infant. He has grown into a strong, extremely, that's in italics, by the way.
Okay.
Intelligent and beautiful little boy.
Yeah.
Don't you ever again in your motherfucking life attempt to disrespect me, my family, or our status again.
Well, give him a name then, for God's sakes.
Keep our names out of your unworthy mouth, you old and potent geezer.
So good.
Your unworthy mouth.
Your unworthy mouth.
And by the way, impotent is completely capitalized and in bold.
Is it not important? It's impotent.
Impotent.
Is it supposed to be important?
No, impotent. It's supposed to mean he's without virility.
Without potency.
Yeah, exactly. Which reminds me, I will tell a short joke here.
Okay.
We'll just take this is going to be your intermission joke.
All right.
So this man of certain ethnicity.
White. Is that not it?
Was scheduled for a vasectomy.
Okay, white guy at a vasectomy.
And the day of his vasectomy appointment,
yes,
got up early, shaved, showered, laid out his best suit.
Okay.
Dressed up, suit, tie, ready to go to the doctor for his vasectomy.
All right.
His baby mama said, "You're going in for a vasectomy. Why are you dressed up in a suit?" And his comment was, or his answer was, "If I'm going to be impotent, I want to look impotent." Ba-dum-bum. Now back to the story.
I'm not thinking that was about a white guy.
I didn't say one way or the other.
You didn't disallow my theory.
I didn't confirm nor deny.
Yeah, I'm thinking your punchline denied my theory that it was a white guy.
Back to the story.
All right.
And no, Jason did not sign the complaint. So the fuck what?
Wow.
Is that really the best argument you can come up with after the many pages I have presented to this court as to why you cannot allow the matter to progress? Laugh out loud. What a joke you are, old man.
So they got to laugh out loud in a legal brief?
It does. It says LOL.
Very nice.
Yep. What about the 100+ pages of valid legal contention that have been presented by plaintiffs before this court? You don't want to delve into those, do you? You don't want the American people to know about the fraud that your bitch ass is helping to pull on them?
Wow.
Ain't that right? Fucking bitch. You disgust me. Fucking bitch.
Fucking bitch.
And you mean to tell me that a mother cannot bring suit on behalf of her own child and no one finds that the least bit strange? This is what people think freedom and unalienable rights look like. God help us, Lord help us all.
Wow.
The Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hello, boys.
Hello.
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 I love the classic metal show.
Okay.
Thank you. That's it? Okay.
Apparently.
All right.
Thanks for calling.
All right. The court takes judicial notice of blah, 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 blah. Yep. Whatever.
Okay.
I wish you had that clip. You know what I just heard? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. That's right. I had a cocked and fully loaded AK-47 assault rifle, as well as a .45 caliber pistol. What's your point? And no, I was never convicted of anything. But you know what? They can go right ahead and try to convict me if they want to. I don't give a damn. The whole system is a joke.
Wow.
This is all an illegal brief here, by the way.
I'm thinking it probably swayed the judge to change his verdict.
I'm sure it did.
Sure, it changed his verdict greatly.
The United States of America have collectively and individually been politically and legally overthrown by foreign opportunists and domestic sellout bitches like you. Mitchell County officials will get their fucking feelings hurt if they even try me.
Wow.
I'm not playing with you or anybody else. Fuck you all. How about that?
Yeah, pal.
Also, you genius, I never stated that I am not a citizen of any nation. Don't try to twist my words. I said that my family and I are the posterity of those who conquered this land and have thus inherited from them, and that you citizens of the United States, as defined by the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Federal Constitution in 1868, have no rights to anything here. I said we are Floridian-Americans, but our lawful state government has been overthrown by insurgent federal citizens of the United States like you. So she's basically a native Floridian.
Native Floridian.
She's a native Floridian.
Yeah, which is apparently a separate entity from the other 49 states.
Right. So basically everybody else that's there aside from her are a stranger in a strange land.
Yes.
And now that 99.9% of Americans are ignorant as to our true history, you traitors have tricked them all into identifying themselves as federal citizens, and And now that 99.9% of Americans are ignorant as to our true history, you traitors have tricked them all into identifying themselves as federal citizens, and what think this means you will get away with something.
Right.
That's how it reads. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. All the people need is a proper education, free of propaganda and lies, and I'm working on that. See attachment A entitled, Why Most Americans Do Not Inherently Owe Federal Income Taxes.
Oh, I'd like to read that one.
Let me know if you want to write the introduction to my next publication. There are more to come. Look here, old man.
Wow.
When I told you I am justice, that's all in capitals, by the way, and underscored.
Sure.
I am justice. I meant it.
Wow.
It took me about 1 month to study the history of the world and to learn the history and the inner workings of American jurisprudence. Literally, I was born to do this here. Don't you know that your FBI and CIA have been trying to recruit me since grade school?
Oh, no.
That's followed by an LOL.
She went from fucked up, but sort of on track.
Yeah, she's a covert operative.
She just joined the Alex Jones Nation.
Exactly.
Holy cow.
But there are unscrupulous losers like you, so it won't be happening.
Oh, my goodness.
Instead, I will educate the people, and hopefully one day, if we are lucky, they will rise up against you oppressive, lying traitors and hang you all for the crimes you have committed against us all.
My goodness.
What? She puts that in a question mark. What? You think because you sit up there in that little black robe hiding behind the ignorance of the masses like the little bitch that anybody gives a damn about, you or what you have to say? Well, just in case you haven't noticed, I couldn't give two fucks about you and what you have to say. Fuck you, old man. You're a joke. Your court's a joke. You take it up the ass and you suck nuts.
She wrote that in the legal brief.
I swear to God, I'm reading this verbatim.
What is it? Read that last part again.
She said, well, just in case you haven't noticed, I couldn't give two fucks about you or what you have to say. Fuck you, old man. You're a joke. Your court's a joke. You take it up the ass and you suck nuts.
Oh, boy. And that's where she fucked up.
For the last time, we have not asserted any civil rights pursuant to 42 U.S.C. blah, 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 1983, as the particular federal code section applies specifically to federal citizens only. We are not federal citizens. Answer me this, genius. If the original states were in existence before the federal government with their own constitutional provisions for protecting their citizens' unalienable human rights, then why would the state citizens need to claim protection for those rights under the federal constitution? They don't. That makes no sense at all.
Well, she's wrong, but go ahead.
All right. All rights claimed under 42 U.S.C. 1983 are those of federal citizens exclusively. Further, your stupid assertion regarding federal civil rights and their respective statutes of limitations is flawed in this. It is not applicable and it is outright stupid. In addition, a law person worth his salt would know about and respect legal principles concerning domicile, which dictates that you cannot apply the Williams versus City of Atlanta, circa 1986, to us, the plaintiffs, because the parties to that case are domiciled in the District of Columbia because they are federal citizens under the United States federal government. Our domicile is right here in Florida. You're an idiot.
I guess this is a lady, right?
Yes.
I guess this lady does not understand that if there's laws on the books about the same issues, that federal outweighs state. Guess she doesn't get that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would imagine. I think that what she's saying is that because she claims herself as being a what do you want to call indigenous to the area, that she does not fall under the federal guidelines. That she's kind of like an Indian.
Yeah, well, she's wrong.
You know, like a Native American, that she doesn't fall under federal guidelines. That she falls under. You know, she's like a protected group, kind of like the Indians have their own government within their protected reservations.
I'm not going to lie. I do like the theory there.
But I think that's what she's trying to say, more or less.
I love the theory, but it's just not legally true.
True.
You know, I would love it if we didn't have to fucking listen to what that fucking toolbag Obama's spewing out and we could just have states' laws.
Right.
Fantastic.
Sure. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hail and kill, boys. Did you hear about this story about the crackhead couple from Florida selling tickets to heaven?
Yes, they paint like pieces of 2x4 and they painted them gold.
I'm not sure what they did to make the golden tickets, but basically the story was that they were trying to sell them for like $99 a piece.
Right.
And they were telling everybody that it was solid gold. And one of the guys issued a police statement, and this is what he said. He said, "I don't care what the police say. The tickets are solid gold, and it was Jesus who gave them to me behind the KFC."
Yeah, he met Jesus behind a dumpster, and apparently Jesus gave him these tickets of gold, but they were apparently like pieces of 2x4 that were painted with gold paint.
Oh shit!
What's wrong with that?
So there was more. I thought it was fascinating. He basically said, I met an alien named Stevie who said if I got the cast together, he'd take me and my wife on his flying saucer to his planet that's made entirely of drugs.
Right.
You should arrest Jesus because he's the one that gave me the golden tickets and said to sell them. I'm willing to wear a wire and set Jesus up. You gotta love that cocaine state, right?
Well, I think that might have been Flacca talking.
Yeah.
Is that Florida too?
Yeah, that's Florida as well.
Jesus Christ.
Well, Florida's all fucked up.
Yeah, Florida's a mess.
All right, thanks, boys.
All right, Hell and Kill.
I like it. Wonder how many you sold.
I don't think he sold it.
You don't? See, I think some of these fucking people would definitely buy that. Oh, you met Jesus? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, he was behind a dumpster at the KFC.
Okay, hey, I'm in.
Yep.
Not going to miss my chance.
Sure. I swear I saw the Virgin Mary in my mashed potatoes. I swear to God.
Save them.
Right.
Save them. Take a picture.
All right, to continue.
All right.
You then end your fuckery. She wrote that, Fuckery,
right,
by stating that the case is dismissed for good cause and in the absence of opposition. However, you have not shown any good or legally valid cause, and you know it.
Wow.
There is no applicable legal basis for your assertions, old man. All of your arguments are frivolous.
Yeah, man.
Old man. You have presented federal rights and laws to defeat unalienable human rights and laws that supersede them both. What a shameful and stupid joke you are. Also, we have properly and flawlessly opposed, rebutted, and defeated the 60-plus pages of irrelevant and inapplicable contentions defendants have attempted to levy against us. But you don't even acknowledge that, huh? What a hoe.
What a hoe.
H-O-E. What a hoe. A lot of ghetto speak here.
And from a white woman.
Exactly.
I can't believe that a white woman would speak this way.
A lot of slang there. A lot of street slang.
Probably just trying to, for effect.
Right.
Don't you think? It's for effect because, a white woman doesn't normally talk that way. Do
Sure.
They?
No, not at all.
They do. I mean, we're all one people.
Well, it'll get your attention.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's all this is. It's attention getting.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
This court has undoubtedly been showing unprecedented favor to defendants, had not said one word to us. The plaintiffs, since the filing of the original complaint more than 9 months ago, and now states that there was no opposition to defendants' motion to dismiss. What about the 100-plus pages of proper rebuttals and defenses that the plaintiffs presented to the court? You've just completely disregarded them all, huh? I suppose you did the same thing in the civil action with, there's a number there, I'm not going to read that all out, too, didn't you, you bitch? Don't worry. I take it all as a compliment because I'm well aware that the court has not spoken to me because it cannot defeat my legal arguments. So it runs and cowers like a panic-stricken hoe that has stolen money from her backhanding pimp. Just for the record, you are a hoe. This court is a hoe, and I will backhand you both should you continue to waste my time. She's going to slap a bitch up.
I guess so. You know what the worst part is? If this judge wants to be a douchebag, he could so take her, press charges on her. You can't fucking threaten violence in a legal brief. You can't do that. And you can't. And she also slandered him by saying that he's a sucks cock and he's a nutsucker or whatever she said.
Well, maybe he does.
Or maybe he does, but if he does, then there's no slander. But if he doesn't, there's a slander case.
Right. Let me ask you, do you really think I ever believed this court would give me a fair shot? Ha! Exclamation point. No. I'm much too intelligent for that.
I can tell.
Just know that this entire proceeding has served the purpose for which it was intended, and you played right into it in the exact way that I intended for you to, like a dumb hoe that you are. The federal government was not created to replace the state governments by any means. It was created to tend to matters that fell without the sovereignty of any one particular state. After having been oppressed by the King of Great Britain, After having been oppressed by the King of Great Britain, is that what the founding fathers did? They went through hell and fought the War of Independence just to relinquish their citizens to the federal government and set it up to be more oppressive than the King of Great Britain could have been? I think not.
Yes, no way.
In fact, the people were so weary of something like this happening that it is the very reason that the Federalist Papers were written, to convince the peoples of the several states that a weak and limited central republican, that's all capitalized, emboldened, and underscored,
wow,
government to loosely hold them together was a good idea. Looks like the people were right to be weary of the federal, oversized, oppressive central government. I mean, look at this mess. The U.S. federal government is out of control. The federal government currently taxes the people exponentially, more than the British king could have ever dreamed of doing, and people's human rights are being violated faster than you can say the phrase, William B. Hunt Jr. is a bitch. I mean, I'm not a retard that you are going to convince that these brilliant men intended for the federal government to wield power over the several states and their people as it presently does. This is not freedom, you jackass. This is slavery, worse than the history of the world has ever seen.
Oh, yeah, right.
Any idiot can take a look into the history of American jurisprudence through studying congressional records, U.S. Supreme Court cases, etc., as I have done, to realize that these United States of America have been overthrown.
Yeah.
The American people, due to their own neglect of civil duty and responsibility to educate themselves and their children, have allowed this to happen. I say all of this to say, Mr. Hunt, I don't give a damn about you or anything you have to say. You are a castrated coward and a disgrace to the United States of America. Fortunately for us all, you are in an old age and presumably nearing the inevitable death that awaits all old, impotent geezers like yourself with a one-way ticket to hell.
Wow.
Which is good. That's exactly where a treacherous, lying, spineless bastard son of a bitch like you deserves to be for the rest of eternity. Burn! Lastly, I will be posting the entirety of these court proceedings online and disseminating them amongst the general population for the people to see this disgrace. You controlling nothing. You are nothing and you can do nothing. So fuck you. Die. And that's it.
She got her point across, didn't she?
She did. So
she definitely had a lot to say.
She did have a lot to say. So, any final comments, sir?
Well, I hate to admit it, but I like some of the shit that she was saying.
Sure.
I do like some of her points, but wow, did she take the hard road to get any of them to, actually take any heed in whatever this court case was.
Right.
I think she went a little off the trail of what her case was about, too. What do you think?
I do, too. I think she was trying to give a somewhat of a history lesson to support her argument, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that's where she was coming from, that she has cause for the way that she believes things should be where she's concerned.
Right.
So I think that's what her point was.
Well, she made it.
She did.
I would just be curious if they're going to press charges on her for any of that.
Well, I guess you have to wonder if they go, you know what, let's just leave a sleeping dog lie.
Yeah, just leave this bitch alone.
Exactly. Well, I think that deserves a song.
All right, good.
I think this deserves some Wasp.
Okay.
I think Kill, Fuck, Die would be appropriate.
That works.
What do you think?
Works for me.
All right, we're going to play a couple songs. We'll be right back. So, in honor of what was this lady?
Tama Jada.
Yeah, her name is Tama Jada Clark.
Right.
From Pensacola, Florida.
Yes.
I'm going to salute you with some Wasp, some Kill, Fuck, Die exclusively here
on your classic metal show.